What if the fear you feel in your business isn't a warning sign, but a signal that you're standing at the edge of a breakthrough? Because sometimes growth doesn't announce itself with clarity, it shows up as hesitation, as tension, as that quiet moment where you know a decision matters, but you're not really sure if you're ready to make it. This episode is for the founder who's already built something real. You've proven you could do hard things, you've earned trust, created momentum, but now the next level feels different, feels heavier, a little less certain. And the question isn't, can you grow? It's whether you're willing to step into the discomfort that growth requires. This is the Event Pioneers podcast, where we help event entrepreneurs evolve from operator to architect using the stages framework to build businesses that grow with intention and support the life that you actually want to live. In the last episode, we talked about the six-figure hamster wheel and the mechanics of delegation. Today, we are going deeper. This episode is about the moment before you leap, the internal resistance that shows up when you know what to do but haven't decided yet, the fear, uncertainty, the discomfort, or what I like to call FUD, and why those feelings often mean you're closer than you think. I recently had the chance to hear a wonderful talk by someone I deeply admire, Ed Milet, a very successful entrepreneur. And one thing that he said really stuck with me and was an overarching main point of his talk. He talked about how sometimes you're just one decision away from a massive breakthrough. Not 10 decisions, not the perfect plan, one. But that decision almost always comes wrapped in fear, in uncertainty, in discomfort. That's why so many people stay stuck. Not because they don't want growth, but because the doorway to growth never feels safe. They don't teach this in school. I did not learn this in school. For me, I was the class clown. I would act out a little bit, but school was play by the rules.
Don't make the wrong step. Be careful, because if you make the wrong move, there's going to be repercussions.
And it's the complete opposite with what we're talking about here. Looking back at my own journey, the biggest breakthroughs in my business didn't come from comfort. They came from moments where I had no guarantees. Investing in the brand when it felt irresponsible, letting go of control when it felt risky, stepping into a bigger role before I felt quote unquote ready. At the time, those decisions feel heavy, but in hindsight, they unlocked momentum that I could never have created by playing it safe. That's why this episode exists, because I know there are people listening right now who are standing in the exact moment. Here's the truth most people don't talk about. You don't build confidence before the decision. Confidence is built because of the decision. When you choose growth, even without certainty, something shifts internally. You stop asking, what if this doesn't work? And you start asking, who do I need to become to make this work? That's the shift from operator to leader, from reacting to deciding. Now, the real question becomes, how do you move forward with fear, with uncertainty, with discomfort, instead of waiting for them to disappear? And this is where I want to share something powerful. There's a professional mindset coach, a high performance coach named David Cook. He worked with the San Antonio Spurs during a period when Tim Duncan was struggling. It's an NBA basketball team. And over the course of years, Duncan went from this slump to becoming one of the greatest players of all time. And that wasn't by accident. It was by the inner game. David teaches that high performers don't allow the future to overwhelm them, and they don't allow the past to hold them back. They stay present. He introduces an acronym called SFT, and it's one of the clearest frameworks I've found for navigating growth. The S stands for seeing. This is having a clear vision of where you're going. Not every step, just the destination, right? What does it look like? Seeing the result. As an entrepreneur, it's that next level you're stepping into. As a leader, it's the version of you who's capable of holding more. And you don't need certainty, you need direction. The next letter, F, is for feeling. Feeling is trusting that you already have what you need inside of you. Not knowing how it will turn out, but knowing you'll be grounded, you will be capable and resourceful no matter what happens. This is confidence without guarantees. And then T, which is trust. Trust is grace. It's faith. Trusting yourself enough to move forward, even if it doesn't feel even if it doesn't work the first time, even if it doesn't look like the original plan, because growth rarely arrives in the form that we expect, but it mostly leads to something better. And so if fear, uncertainty, and discomfort are present in your in your business right now, pause. Or if it's present in what you want to start, what you want to do, the next growth lever that you want to activate, pause. Don't label them as problems and ask yourself, what decision am I standing in front of? What version of me is calling forward or is being called forward? Because sometimes the breakthrough isn't on the other side of a strategy, it's the other side of a decision. And so as we continue this podcast, we're going to talk about vision, we're going to talk about brand, and getting more customers with lead generation and sales and conversion, world-class client experience, people and delegation, and building a business that supports the ideal life, not just revenue goals. But none of it works without this foundation. Seeing, feeling, trusting. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're standing at the edge. And the only question left is whether you're willing to step forward.